UNICEF, the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, was started in 1948 in order to provide emergency food and health care to children in our post-World War II world. Today, 62 years later after its inception, we can see the impact the organization has had on our world community. UNICEF offices can be found in over 190 countries and territories in the world. But in the organization's early stages, one of the first offices to open in the U.S. was in Boulder, Colorado, 37 years ago. This movement was spearheaded by Virginia McConnell. Virginia's background in working with preschool programs and her master's degree in early childhood development helped to prepare her for what would become her life's work with UNICEF. An accomplishment she is most proud of is successfully creating an alliance with the United Nations Association and Boulder Friends of UNICEF.
I read in a UNICEF official journal, a good many of, at least a third of the victims of landmine accidents are young children. And I thought, gosh, that's just terrible. Innocent victims. And about that same time, the United Nations Association was beginning a program of demining. So I thought those two things would combine really well. I approached the people that were concerned and we got it going. And 1999 was our big year. We were trying to raise $99,000 and a lot of awareness.
Within that year, Boulder UNICEF ran many events and promotions to meet their quota. Later, Boulder UNICEF traveled to Mozambique, Africa. Once there, the team visited sites of landmines and spoke with locals about mine safety.
We stopped at a school. There were about 200 children that came out, sat on benches outside, and we talked about learning to be aware, watch for signs so that you don't inadvertently step on a landmine. And then we went to a village that had been recently cleared of mines. And so it was amazing to see all the development in that village, and children playing, and a school started, and a little community, really, UNICEF. It started as part of the United Nations, but right away realized, the UNICEF people realized that it needed to be a separate entity. Otherwise, it's too easy to forget about children in running the world. So we do have a U.S. committee for UNICEF. UNICEF has committees in about 150, more than 150 countries around the world. And when I've traveled, I've seen signs of that. And it's exciting to know that there's a world interest in the livelihood and the well-being of children.
In 1989, UNICEF started the National Rights of a Child Convention. This convention legally binds participating nations to honor the basic rights of children. These rights protect children from the abuses they may encounter as the world's most vulnerable citizens.
I had learned through the years from working with really high income and then middle income at the University Nursery School, and then with these low income children, that children are very much the same with basic needs. It seems to me that a child has a right to childhood and a right to have a name, and a nationality if possible. A right to have food and health protection, very basic things like a right to live, to have food and clean water, and to have immunizations. One of the things that I think is most significant is having countries stop fighting long enough to immunize the children. And that's just amazing to me that governments have agreed to do that for a day or two to get the children rounded up and immunized. And of course that's kept a lot of children alive that otherwise would have died of just simple childhood diseases. And it's not always easy to involve governments. Not all governments are sympathetic to these concerns or with the needs and rights of children.
The Boulder Friends of UNICEF organization helps to head all UNICEF programs in the Colorado community, including the popular Trick or Treat program, and more recently the Tap Water program, where participating restaurants charge patrons $1 for water, which then goes towards providing clean drinking water to children who need it around the world. UNICEF has also published greeting cards and books to spread awareness and gain funding for their cause. The UNICEF book, For Every Child, is sold in our very own Boulder bookstore.
I think UNICEF has lighted this community, as it has all over the world in communities where it's been involved, with helping to improve the lives of children who need a lot of friends. My involvement with UNICEF over the years has really enriched my life, my sense of being a part of a world citizen. I think anybody that gets involved is going to feel that way because it's so basic to what being a human being is all about.